soak it all in and think, wow, what a crazy, fun ride this has been?
Yeah, I did. Well, it was really not as much this weekend as it was last week. Had an opportunity to kind of visit with a few people that wanted to talk about it. You know, it was, I guess, a story. And so that was it was neat to reminisce on that. And I was actually in Ohio for a funeral this weekend in a little town called Milan, Ohio. Got a lot of looks from some Buckeye people up there. So I did ride an unbelievable roller coaster on my 10th anniversary. I don't even know what the name of it was. It was at Cedar Point, and it was freezing. And if anybody likes roller coasters, you got to go ride this roller coaster. I still can't believe I rode it. It was crazy. But I don't know the name of it, but it's like you get on this thing, and it's like a long runway.
Top Thrill Dragster?
Maybe that's it.
Top Thrill Dragster.
You know what it is? And then it goes up into a
Second
loop. Yeah, so it's the fastest. So, yeah. Have you rode it? Or you just
no.
saw it on YouTube? All right,
No,
well, let me tell
I
you.
just love roller coasters and various other things.
Well, I rode it, and it was freezing. And because this little town we were at, which is kind of like Pendleton, it was only like 10 miles or something from the Cedar Point. So we go, me and the boys, we go, and so we get on this thing, and it's a little two-seater, and it's literally like you're on a drag, like, you know, red, yellow, green, go, and you're going like from 0 to 120 miles an hour, and it is a long, like forever. And then all of a sudden you're straight up, and you're like on a rocket going to the sky, and then you're straight down, and it just goes straight up. How high did you say it went?
Like 400 something feet.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Second highest.
Unbelievable. So that's what I did on my anniversary. So I was just thinking about surviving that roller coaster ride on Saturday. I wasn't spending much time thinking about all the other stuff, but it was fun.
Have you taken a different approach to this team when it comes to rest? I know you said in the fall you took a weekend off, and it seemed like the first time you'd ever had a weekend off during the fall, and of course with the bye week. How do you approach that differently with this group?
Yeah, well, that was just more a result of they changed the rules on us, you know, as far as the way that the number of practices that you could do. And so it went from 29 to 25 or whatever. So I just kind of tweaked our camp schedule a little bit. We went I think we went like 18 practices straight, and then I gave them that weekend off, and then we came back and finished up that last week before we started school. So it was good for us to kind of have that little break, and then we had we had like 8 weeks, 7.5 or 8 weeks straight before we got the open date. But we didn't do anything different. I mean, it's kind of we really believe in what we do as far as how we practice, and then how we manage the open date. So we came in and we worked Monday through Thursday, and Tuesday was no football, was a community service day, and then we gave them all Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's what we do every year and always have.
You mentioned the efficiency, the desire for efficiency on offense. Is the third down, is that the
Yep.
biggest thing y'all needed to address?
Definitely. Yeah, we've, and some of it is a, you know, we've, like I said, been incredibly explosive. But some of it has been certain situations in some games that's affected us some, where we just have kind of run the clock a little bit, and so there's a few of them you can throw out that would probably help us a little bit. But we've not been as good on third down as we were really good last year on third down. We were incredibly efficient. We just weren't very explosive. So. You know, it's definitely an area that second half of the season we need to improve in, and I think we will. I think just kind of growing into who we are has been a part of it too, and some missed opportunities, some penalties, some things like that have you know, it doesn't take a lot. I mean, all of a sudden now you're inefficient instead of efficient. So it's definitely an area we got to improve in.
Earlier this year, you told us about how you wanted to manage the snaps of the defensive line a little better to keep them fresher for later in the year. So far this year, are you seeing any results there?
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about that. I thought we had one game, I guess it was the Syracuse game. I thought they got a little tired. We didn't probably do as good a job in that game. But, yeah, I mean, we've been able to really develop our guys. I mean, we've played a lot of guys inside, and I think we knew we'd do that at D-tackle. That's really, you know, been a huge thing for us. I mean, Niles Pinckney has performed well for us. Huggins has been great. And then the development of Jordan Williams. I mean, I know he missed a couple games, but getting him back, I mean, he's confident, knows what he's doing. So, moving Xavier in there, I think, has helped us shore up some depth there, too. So I really feel good about that. And then the biggest thing for us was kind of defensive end, seeing how the young guys were going to progress. And Foster's been awesome. I mean, we're just really pleased with him. He's going to be a really good player for us. A very complete guy, very conscientious. He's a heavy-handed kid, and just very dependable. And then Logan Rudolph, same thing, redshirt freshman. He's a guy that's got one gear, and it's same thing, very dependable, really understands what we're doing. He's gotten some experience now, and then Xavier Thomas is just, I mean, wow. He's played 6 games now, and he doesn't look like a freshman out there, and so there's no question he's been one of the brightest spots on our team, and so being able to have those 3 guys in particular, and then Chris was hurt a while, kind of getting him back in the mix from a depth standpoint. We feel good going into the second half about being able to play our guys in every situation, and have good functional depth at every position on defense.
Over the past several years, this game between Clemson and NC State's gotten pretty contentious. You have players stealing towels and coaches alleging illegal laptops. What's your message to your team in terms of keeping
Players stealing towels and coaches. You said coaches. I haven't alleged any laptops. I did want an investigation on the towel stealing. And Dave sent me some Adidas towels back and apologized. And I'm like, well, these are Adidas. These aren't even our towels. So I guess Chubb still got them hung up in his apartment, wherever he is, who is he with? Who's he with? Broncos. They're in Denver somewhere. But no, this is an incredibly competitive game, for sure, for both teams. Both teams want to win. We have had some crazy stuff, though. I mean, we had y'all remember Isaiah Battle punched some guy that one year. Oh my God! At the end of a game, he just lost his mind, and then we had one of their coaches pushed maybe Deshaun. I can't remember, one year, and I had to call him and apologize for Isaiah, and he had to call me and apologize, for his coach pushing Deshaun on the sideline, and then last year I didn't really understand the laptop stuff. I'm not sure but that was it was all good. I get along fine with Dave. I mean, but it's just a very competitive game. They're a good team. They're, like I said, well coached, good players, and that's why. And both teams want the same thing, and they want it bad, and that's why this has been a very competitive game.
Coach, is there a difference when you go up against a team this deep into a season that's still undefeated, the confidence they bring to the table and energy they have that maybe a team with 1 loss, 2 losses wouldn't have?
We get everybody's best. Just the way it is. It don't matter who we play. They can be 1-9. They'll play like a 9-1 team when they play the Tigers. So that's just part of it. That we know that. So it really doesn't matter.
NC State the last couple of years, they've been able to use backs and tight ends and things like that. A lot of those guys are and a lot of the returners are in that receiving core. Do you see any difference in them schematically now that they have to rely on receivers a little more?
Nope. They're still going to run the ball. They run the stretch. They're a big RPO team. They're a big play action team. They're a big pistol team. Pistol play action, pistol boots, a lot of screens, shots, bunch of tricks. I think it's on our breakdown. I think it's about 14% of their offense are tricks. What we would call some type of trick. Flea flickers, double passes. All kind. I think it's just they call that stuff to help them yeah, they want it to hit, but even if it doesn't hit, they feel like it helps them, keep keep a defense on edge a little bit, and future defenses that they're going to play down the road. So, but they do what they do. I mean, they're a lot of motions and shifts, and the biggest difference this year, I think that they're really high on their receivers, and they should be. These are really good players, very, very skilled guys that they have. But probably the biggest difference is they're a little bit more – they've always been a heavy 11 personnel team. They're a little more 10 personnel this year as opposed to 12. They still get into some 12, but breakdown percentage-wise, it's not – it's a lower percentage than it's been in the past. That big number 42 and 6, them two tight ends they got, they're good players, but I think they've featured their receivers a little bit more. And this quarterback. This quarterback is he makes everything go. But it's all built off the run game. It's all built off of that.
Do you see Xavier Thomas's role increasing some?
It's already increased. His role's already increased from the beginning of the season through the first 6 games. Y'all have seen a lot more of him, and we've created some packages where he's been in there, and it ain't going to decrease. That's for sure. He's earned the opportunity, and it just helps, Clee and Austin can play both sides, and so he's kind of that third guy right now that we think can go in there and give Clee and Austin the type of break that they need to keep those guys fresh, and Justin's right there too, and like I said, and Logan. Is in that mix, but definitely Xavier has differentiated himself.
You obviously knew you had a good one in Justin Ross, but just the way he's picked things up and what he's done, has he maybe even exceeded your earliest expectations?
Oh, he's definitely exceeded my expectations. I knew he was a physical, just physically gifted, phenomenal athlete, but you just don't know how guys are going to process things. You don't know how guys are where are they going to be technically and fundamentally when it comes to what you have to do at this level. Nobody's pressing Justin Ross in high school, and most of those guys struggle when we get them because the guys we get are always the best athlete on the field, and if they do have somebody pressing them, then there's usually somebody over the top. So we don't see many. They don't see much just true press technique, man-to-man, one-on-one, and so they don't have to really play with their hands very much. And so their release techniques usually take a little longer to develop in a receiver, and the coordination of their hands, their eyes, their feet, and everything kind of working together in sync where it's not robotic, it's just reaction. And you just don't know till you start coaching a guy. And then you throw on top all the scheme, the speed of the game, and he was amazing right out of the gate. His ability to process things, learn it, but more importantly, his how advanced he was technically. He really picked things up quickly from a coaching standpoint, and his ability to play with his hands. He's a strong physical kid, but what makes him really special is his ability to redirect. He's not a straight line guy. He can really change direction in a hurry, and so his lateral quickness is pretty special. And then just again his coachability, I've been very pleased with him. So that's why you've seen him. He's just because the rest is kind of easy, but the hard stuff has come easier to him than I anticipated.
Piggybacking off of that, he was telling us that he obviously waited till his mom got home to make his recruiting decisions. Just logistically, how did you sort of form a relationship with his mom? Did you wait until she was back from being deployed?
And I actually talked to her while she was gone. And like the first time I talked to her on the phone, she was gone, and he had come up here. I think his coach had brought him up, and so for the first time, and then she got home like in the summer, and so. From that point on, she was great to communicate with his whole family, and his aunt was up here as well a lot, and but he took his time in the whole process, and and went through the summer and all into fall, and I think it was early December where he told me he was kind of leaning our way. So I felt good about him, but you never know, especially recruiting a kid from Alabama and the type of pressure that they're under in that state. Alabama, Auburn, and all that stuff. But this is what he wanted to do, and it's worked out great.
Talked a lot about kind of Trevor's personality. He's just kind of like, okay, coach, whatever you say. How much is that personality attributed to kind of his success over what has been a pretty dramatic season, at least the first 6 games?
Well, I don't think it's just this season. I mean, I just think that's his DNA. That's how it's wired. I think it's attributed to his success that he had in high school. I mean, you think about it today, these big-time elite high school quarterbacks, they're under a lot of pressure and this kid's been starting since the 9th grade. And so I think just that has served him well all the way through. You're talking about going the way they do this stuff now. You're all across the country. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody sees everything every single week. You got Elite 11s and high-stakes competitions. And, so I think it has all of that, plus his demeanor and just his DNA has helped him, get off to a good start here.
How much more comfortable and confident is Isaiah now than he was at the beginning of the year?
A lot. I mean, he still will make some mistakes, but he makes a lot of plays, and but he's got 6 games under his belt now, and he's been coached hard. Brent is relentless as far as the details that he's coaching, especially at that nickel Sam position. He's taken to the coaching, and he's a conscientious guy. He's grown a lot, but he's still not close to what his potential is. I mean, he's got a lot of room for improvement in a lot of areas, but he plays hard. He's physical. He's got good coverage skills, and his confidence is really good right now. But he's aware too. He's aware of what he needs to improve on, and he's willing to show up every day and get better. So I think the second half of the season, he's one of those guys on our team that I'm kind of hoping. He's had a good start, but I'm hoping he'll make another jump so that we can be the type of defense we want to be.
Coach, Travis is on